Gentlemen, we are dealing with the undead.
Nosferatu?
Yes, not the Ratu. The undead, the vampire. The vampire attacks the throat. He leaves two little wounds white with red centers.
But Professor Van Helsing, modern medical science doesn't admit to such a creature, the vampire. Pure myth. Superstition.
Dr. Stewart's patient, Rentfield, whose blood I have just analyzed, is a man obsessed with the idea he must devour living things to sustain his own life. I'm returning to England with Dr. Stewart's study. Rentfield and I may be able to furnish you with proof that the superstitions of yesterday can become the scientific reality of today.
Oh, Martin, please. Good, Martin, don't take him away from me. Don't.
Ain't you ashamed now? Ain't you ashamed? Spiders now, is it? Flies ain't good enough for you.
Flies, poor cutie things. Who wants to eat flies?
You do, you loony.
Nice pet spiders.
Ah, come on. The doctor's waiting to tweak you again.
But Renfield's cravings have only been for small living things, nothing human.
As far as we know, Doctor. But you will tell me he escapes from his room, is gone for hours. Where does he go? Well, Mr. Renfield, you look much better than you did this morning when I arrived.
Thank you, Professor Van Helsing. I'm feeling much better.
What would you have done?
Why, yes, I received my degree in 27 and was admitted to the bar a year later. And pardon me. A low form of life beneath my notice.
What would you have done with that fly if we hadn't been here?
He'd have eaten it.
Tell me, Mr. Renfield, what makes you want to eat flies?
The wings of the fly, my dear sir, typify the aerial powers of the psychic faculties.
He's a cute one, ain't he, Doctor? Always got an answer.
Come now, Renfield. I want to talk seriously to you.
Mina, I've never seen you like this before. What is it? Have I done something wrong? Is something worrying you or what?
It isn't anything you've done, dear. You mustn't worry.
But
I don't know what it is. I've been afraid lately. And when night comes on, I feel as if something were coming in around me.
it's my fault. I should have made you come up to London with me, instead of leaving you here with nothing to worry about but Lucy.
It isn't only that. I can't sleep at night without having the most awful dreams.
You're cold, dear.
No, but let's go inside.
I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're not going to wait. We're going to get married right away and go away from here.
I'm here to help you. You understand that, don't you?
Why, of course. I'm really very... Keep your filthy hands to yourself.
Here, Renfield.
I want you to send me away from this place.
Why are you so anxious to go away?
My cries at night, they might disturb Miss Mina. They might give her bad dreams. Bad dreams, Professor, bad dreams.
That sounds like a wolf.
Yes, it did. But I hardly think there are wolves this close to London.
He thinks they're wolves. He howls, they howl back at him. He thinks they're talking to him. He howls and they howl back. He's crazy.
I might have known. You know why the wolves talk, don't you, Mr. Renfield? And you know how we can stop them.
You know too much to live, Van Helsing.
We won't get any more out of them this time, for a while.
Take him away, Martin.
On your way, fly eater.
I'm warning you, Dr. Stewart, if you don't send me away, you must answer for what happens to Miss Mina.
What's that herb that excited him so?
Wolfbane. It's a plant that grows in Europe. The natives there use it to protect themselves against vampires.
Renfield reacted very violently to its scent.
He must be watched day and night, especially night.
I lay in bed for quite a while reading, and just as I was commencing to feel drowsy, the dogs started barking. And when the drink came, it was as if the room were filled with mist. A mist so thick I could just see the lamp on my bed, a tiny spark in the fog. And then there were two red eyes looking down at me, and a livid white face staring down at me out of this fog. And it came closer and closer, and then I could feel its breath on my face and its lips. Oh!
But dear, it was only a dream. You mustn't go on.
No, the next morning I felt as if all the life had been drained of me.
When did you have this dream, Miss Mina?
Why, it was the morning after Father left for Switzerland. The morning after Lucy's funeral.
Darling, we're going to forget all about these dreams and thinking of something more cheerful, aren't we?
Think for a moment. Is there anything that might have brought this dream on?
No.
There's something worrying Mina. Something she doesn't want to tell us.
I don't understand.
And the face in this dream, you see it seemed to come closer and closer. The lips touched you. Where?
No, please, no,
Is there something the matter with your neck?
no,
Permit me.
no, please.
How long have you had these little marks on your throat?
Marks?
Why, the morning after the dream.
Mina, why didn't you let us know? What could have caused them?
Ladies and gentlemen, Count Dracula.
Good evening.
It's good to see you again, Doctor. I heard you had just returned. And you, Miss Mina, you're looking exceptional. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you ill?
You must pardon me, Doctor, but I think Miss Stewart should go to her room at once.
In that event, I shan't remain. Nothing serious, I hope.
Oh, please don't go. I'm sure it's not nearly as serious as you think.
Pardon me, Count Dracula, Professor Van Helsing.
Van Helsing, a distinguished scientist whose name we know even in the wilds of Transylvania.
I had the most frightful dream a night or so ago. And I haven't been able to get out of my mind.
Oh, I hope you haven't been taking my stories too seriously.
Stories?
Oh, in my humble effort to amuse your fiancée, Mr. Harker, I've been telling her some rather grim tales about my far-off country.
I can imagine.
Why, John.
Sorry, I didn't mean to be rude.
Of course not. I can quite understand Mr. Harker's concern.
I'm afraid it's quite serious. My dear, I'm sure Count Dracula will excuse you. You must go to your room, as Professor Van Helsing suggests.
Why, Father, I'm feeling quite all right now.
No, you must do as your father advises.
Very well. Good night.
I'll be going. Professor, I hope I have the opportunity of seeing you again. Mr. Harker? Miss Mina? I'll call again later to inquire how you are feeling.
Thank you.
Good night. Oh, I'm sorry my visit was so ill-timed.
Not in the least.
Oh, on the contrary, it is my proof to be the most enlightening. In fact, before you go, you could be of definite service.
Oh, anything. Anything I could do, of course.
A moment ago, I stumbled upon the most amazing phenomenon. It was something so incredible that I distrusted my own judgment. I want you to help me prove something.
Doctor, sir, my humble apologies. It was unavoidable. For one who has not lived even a single lifetime, you are a wise man, Van Helsing.
What was that? Did you see the look on his face? Like the wild animal. What's that? Running across the lawn. It looks like a huge dog.
Or a wolf.
A wolf?
He was afraid we might follow.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
Sometimes they take the forms of wolves, but mostly a bat.
What are you talking about?
Dracula.
What's Dracula to do with wolves and bats?
Dracula is our vampire.
But sure, Professor.
A vampire casts no shadow, no reflection in a glass. That's why Dracula smashed the mirror.
But I say, Professor, that doesn't seem to make sense.
Dracula's responsible for Lucy Weston's death, for those marks on Miss Mina's neck.
Well, really, I don't mean to sound rude. That's the sort of thing I'd expect one of your patients here to say.
Yes, and that's what your English doctors would say, your police. The strength of the vampire is that people will not believe in him.
But according to your own theory, the vampires must return to their graves before sunrise to their native soil, where they were buried, and Count Dracula's native soil is in Transylvania.
Then he brought his native soil with him. Boxes of it. Boxes large enough for him to rest in.
Renfield! What are you doing? What did you hear?
I heard something. Enough. Be guided by what he says. It is your only hope. It is her only hope. Save me! Save my soul! I am weak and you are strong. I am crazy, but you are saved.
I'll save you, Renfield, but you must tell us what you know. Everything.
Fool, fool! I thought you were wise. What have I to gain by telling you anything? The doctor here keeps me shut up all day, and if I'm good, he gives me a little sugar to catch flies with. But if I serve the master, a wise madman will obey him who can give him life.
Him? Who do you mean?
You mentioned names among friends, Professor?
What have you to do with Dracula?
Dracula? I've never heard the name before.
You lie.
Madmen, Professor, lack the power to discriminate between truth and falsehood. Therefore, I take no offense.
Thank you for your attention.